Jace Tunnell. Today for our Beachcombing episode, we're actually going to be talking to you about the Marine Science Institute and the free education center that we have here that's called the Patton Marine Science Education Center. And so if any of y'all have gone to the beach, which is located right down here in Port Aransas, you go to the jetty right there, you probably passed this sign right here. It says University of Texas Marine Science Institute, established in 1941. And it's got this beautiful artwork right here that was done by Kent Olberg. This was all just put in after Hurricane Harvey. And then if you look over here, this is the Patton Center Marine Science Institute is what it says up there. And I'm going to take you inside so you can get a closer look. I'm actually going to interview a couple of our staff here that are going to tell you about some of the aquariums, where the fish come from. And remember, it's all free to the public, so you can come in anytime you want, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So let's go inside and check it out. Okay, so now we're up here at the front of the building. Let's go check it out inside.
Hello, my name is Jena Floyd. I'm the aquarium specialist here at the Patton Center. So we'll just show you guys some of the fish that we have in our exhibits. So our first exhibit is based off of the estuary habitats that are right around here in Port Aransas. So in this tank we have some cryptic species that like to hide in the rocks and the shells. So we have a couple of scorpion fish that blend in really well with the rocks, as well as some sheep's head minnows. We have one little needlefish hanging out here in the water column. And then as we move along, we'll start seeing some larger fish, and then we have a couple of other cryptic exhibits as well. So right there is a juvenile sheep's head. So all of these fish are super cool because we'll be able to move them around into different tanks as they get larger. We also have a juvenile mangrove snapper in here and also a snook. This guy over here is super unique. This is a orange filefish, and he was actually just found right outside here in our marina. So there's been a lot of cool fish around here that we have in our exhibits that are just really cool to see the biodiversity that we have right here in our backyard. There's a lot more colorful, cool stuff that you might not know are out there. So the majority of these fish are collected just right out here. There are a couple in here that we're not, including this little lionfish right here. These fish are invasive in the Gulf of Mexico, but you will find them in this area. Over here we have our crashing waves and currents tanks. So in this tank we'll have a lot of smaller schooling fish. In here right now we actually have some solitary fish that we found swimming along with cannonball jellies out in the marina. So those are actually blunt-nosed jacks. So they will also grow to be a little bit larger, and then they can be a cool school of fish in our larger exhibit. This tank is our crashing waves exhibit, so it kind of shows all of the animals that hang out like in the jetty rocks out there, and they kind of hang on in the small crevices of the rocks and then feed. All in between there we have some shrimp, another juvenile snapper, and this tank will be accumulating more invertebrates and different things that will crawl around up on the rockwork and things like that. Over here we have our jellyfish tank. Right now we just have two small moon jellies in here. We have had some cannonball jellies in here as well, and these guys are all found just right out in our channel and marina as well. So this is a fun tank. We get to kind of put different things in as we see what is out there. We have our sargassum tank, where we hope during the summer we'll be able to get lots of sargassum specific species in here, but right now we have some other animals that will still try to camouflage in these sorts of habitats. Crabs, fish and shrimp will all show up in these types of seaweed ecosystems. This is our largest exhibit, the Aransas Pass. So right now we have one red drum in here. We have 2 speckled trout. I see one guy hanging out back there behind our bubble feature here. We also have a couple of, yeah, there's another one right there that you'll be able to see. Yeah, so I just really love all these exhibits because it really shows how much we have out there in the Gulf. Yeah, so some of our exhibits here in the middle will just show equipment and gear that a lot of our scientists here at UTMSI actually use out in the field to gather data for research and conservation efforts that they're working on. And then over here on the side, there's actually a screen where you can choose a scientist and then they will talk about the things that they're doing here and projects that they're working on. And there's actually some questions that they've been asked to answer. And there's 4 different screens here that you can choose from with multiple different scientists on each screen. This is one of our interactive exhibits we have, kind of illustrating how we release some of our animals here. So you can actually pick your own animal, pelican or sea turtle, and color them however you want, give them a name, and then you can actually release them up onto the screen into the habitat up there. We have our sand exhibit here where you can take a close look at different sands from around the world, and you can notice the differences in the sizes of grains or different colors that they might be. And then right next to this here, you can tap on the screen and there are some educational videos that you can watch, or you can click on one of the types of sand and it'll give you some more information on that. So now we're going to go behind the scenes of our aquarium exhibits, and I'll just show you guys a little bit of what the life support looks like and how we take care of the fish and where all of that happens. So back here we have all of our filtration and equipment that we use to clean and make sure the tanks are good and the water is healthy for the animals. And we also do food prep back here and all of that sort of thing. So each system that we have has a whole filtration setup just like this one, where we have all different types of filtration as well as heaters and chillers and monitors to make sure that the temperature stays constant through weather changes and things like that. So some of the different filtration that we have all 3 types of filtration. We have mechanical, biological, and chemical filtration. So we have our filter socks and our protein skimmer, mechanically getting out waste from the fish. And then we have our bioballs here, growing beneficial bacteria to keep the chemical balance of the tank healthy. And then we also have UV filters over here that are chemically killing harmful bacteria, viruses, fungi, things like that. So there's all sorts of things connected to each system that keeps it clean so that we can have healthy fish. This is the top of our Aransas Pass exhibit. So this is where we will feed our trout and our drum, all those larger fish that we have in here. We have to get up here and clean the windows and the rocks of this tank just like any of the smaller ones. This tank has all the same filtration that you saw before, and this is all just for this one large exhibit. So it takes all of these things to keep this this exhibit nice and healthy.
Okay, we're live.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm an education specialist and the volunteer coordinator here at the UT Marine Science Institute. So welcome to the Estuary Explorium. Here we have some information on our estuaries that are local here in Port Aransas. You can learn about what an estuary is. And then if we go around this way, we have a map of different estuaries around the world. Here we have the globe that spins around. And then looking at our National Estuarine Research Reserve System, there are 30 of these NERs in the US, and this is us here right on the coast of Texas, the Mission Aransas NER. So that is where the Mission River and the Aransas River both flow into our bay system here. The estuary is the Mission Aransas Estuary. Walking back over this way, we have some exhibits about how our estuaries interact with our economy. There are a lot of fish that are used for eating and for sport fishing, so it really is important to our economy. And our estuaries are the nurseries of the sea. So a lot of the species of marine animals that we all know and love, they spend the first parts of their lives in our estuaries. So we have some interactives and things you can learn about how they help raise those juvenile animals. Walking over this way, we have some information about the ARC, named the Amos Rehabilitation Keep after its founder, Tony Amos. They rehabilitate birds and turtles that come in to them injured. Once they're rehabilitated, they release them if possible, and they do a lot of really, really great work. So if you're interested in learning more about the ARC, we do have tours every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So you can register for those tours online. Registration in advance is required, so go online and check it out. They're really awesome. And then coming over here, as I mentioned before, a lot of the marine animals that live in our oceans here, they spend the first part of their lives in estuaries. So we have some more information about what the larval stages of those animals' lives look like and what animals they grow up into. So some cool interactives here to learn about those. And then from right outside our windows, you can see a lighthouse. So you can use our binoculars, look over, find the lighthouse, look all out on the channel there. So pretty cool interactive there. And then this is always a hit with the kids. We have these big magnets with different local species that we have. And the idea is that you can sort them around to where they might live in the water column. So maybe they'll live in the gravel, maybe they'll live at the top. You get to decide where they're gonna live and how they interact with each other. A good role-playing opportunity. Another good opportunity for getting some hands-on role-playing. We have puppets with a whole bunch of different creatures, everything from frogs to sharks to alligators, so you can play with all of those things as well. And then last but not least, we'll walk over here to our boat. So this exhibit is currently under construction, but it will be finished soon. And the idea here is that children can role play fishing and sustainable fishing practices. So they can get in the boat, we'll have fishing poles and stuffed fish that they will catch. And then once they've caught it, reeled it in, they bring it over here to our measuring board where they can determine whether or not it is the legal size for them to keep. So some of them might be too short, some of them might be too long, and some of them might be keepers. They can hang them up on the hooks and learn about sustainable fishing practices and why they're important.
Okay, so now you've had a tour of the Patton Center, and you know that it's free and open to the public. And so why don't y'all come on out, check it out, and see what discoveries y'all can make about marine science. See y'all next time. Bye.